Well, hi there folks, it's Matt Hayson here looking at this week's property market, and last Saturday we saw Sydney record the highest auction clearance rate we've seen in 8 weeks of lockdown. That came through at 66.3%. We're now only a few percentage points away from the highest auction clearance rate Sydney has recorded so far this year. That occurred back on the 28th of March when we saw the market peak with an auction clearance rate at 72%. Now interestingly though, over that week there were 1,534 properties that went under the hammer. Fast forward to last week, where we saw just 652 properties go under the hammer for that overall clearance rate at 66%. Now that's a decline of 57% in the number of properties that are going under the hammer. Now we've been reporting over the last few weeks that as this lockdown has extended, we're certainly seeing listing levels contract across our market. In the regions that we service, we're seeing a decline of anywhere between 25 and up to as high as 45% fewer properties that are coming onto the market. Now this is a key reason why we're seeing more competition at auctions and that auction clearance rate accelerating. Also during the week, the nation's biggest lender, CBA, has come out and suggested that lockdowns aren't going to cool the heat in the housing market. Angus Sullivan, the head of retail banking at CBA, suggested that property values are likely to increase by 4% over this spring selling cycle. Now, if this is true, that would mean that Sydney property values will increase by 25% this year. Now, Mr. Sullivan cited that there's still pretty good supply property coming onto the market, still pretty good auction clearance rate, but this was the interesting thing, that there's still pretty good demand for pre-approval borrowing. Now, looking at CBA's customers, 50% are currently locking into fixed interest rate loans, which would suggest that most people believe that we're nearish or at the bottom of that interest rate cycle. Also, just 7,000 customers at CBA have deferred their loans as a result of this lockdown. Now, in the eyes of CBA, this is a very modest amount and reflects that there's still overall strength and confidence in the economy. Now, CBA believes that property values are still likely to increase next year by between 7 and 8%. Now, if you're sitting at home and looking for something to do, why don't you check out two of the hottest properties that have been launched in the Balmain market so far this year. Starting with 11A Spring Street in Birchgrove. 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, double car garaging, pool, views, 285 square metres of internal space. This is a fantastic family home in an unbelievable location. Then move across to 20 North Street in Balmain. 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, striking renovation. In fact, this is visual eye candy, and it's also a very practical home. Both of these properties are available for inspection this weekend. Make sure you reach out to us to make an appointment. So folks, that's what's going on around the grounds in week 8 of lockdown here in Sydney. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next week.